Hello princesses! Today I'm going to be talking about the It's Skin Life Colour Lip Crush Mattes. These were very heavily requested earlier on in the year, so I decided to pick up the 10 shades that were out at the time, and then as soon as the 10 shades actually got to my house, It's Skin released another 8 shades. For me, there wasn't very much point in reviewing the first 10 and then doing a second review for the next 8, because if you're going to look at a collection, you want to look at all of the colours together. So I decided to put the review off for a little bit, wait till I could afford the new 8 colours, buy them, get them shipped here, try them out, swatch them and review them for you guys. And so now finally, I am going to be talking about them. It's a long process. It also took me an hour to swatch them just on my lips, about another hour to lay everything down and take the photos for the blog post and do the arm swatches and everything, and I can tell you that I am sick of them right now. But they do have a really beautiful colour range and they're very interesting products, so if you would like to hear more about them, of course just keep watching, and depending on how long this is going to be, I will put some timestamps down here if you want to skip to certain parts of the review. So the product description says, vivid colours with a silky and feathery texture. Adhering pigments maintain powerful colours. Gifts a plumping effect to the lips with a bounce. These lip crushes come in cute little colour-coded tubes which help me to identify each shade. The wand has a small doe foot applicator, though the quality does differ from tube to tube. Some are lovely and apply the tints well, others have sharp edges, and others are just a little bit bald. There are 18 shades in the collection and the colour range is quite broad. The one colour I really missed in this collection is a baby pink shade. There's a nude, there's a mid-toned pink, but the shade that I reach for the most just isn't present in this range, which for me is very disappointing. Watch Me is a strawberry pink shade. This is a really pretty colour, but can sometimes apply quite streakily. It does emphasise a lot of texture on my lips as well as any flakes. It tends to collect in the inner rim of my lips, which you can't see from a distance, but it does look quite gross in the close-up shot, I know. Don't Judge Me is a dusty peach shade. I apologise for the lack of apostrophes in the text in the video. The custom font just doesn't have any punctuation and I don't know why. This isn't a favourite shade of mine, but it is still quite wearable. This shade is a little easier to work with and it has less of a streaky finish than Watch Me. Girl's Way is a very difficult shade to explain, but I would consider this to be a kind of pinky maroon shade. This is a very beautiful shade and it looks quite nice with my skin tone. This shade in particular has an unfortunate wand that has something sharp near the tip that I can't seem to pull out or flatten. Badass Girl is a vibrant dark berry shade. This is one of my favourite shades, but not one that gets much wear for me personally. I usually wear pastel shades, so this shade doesn't necessarily work that well with my outfits. However, it is a really flattering shade for me. Girls on Fire is a vibrant fuchsia pink. This shade is so pretty, and it doesn't make my lips appear super wrinkly and flawed. Some shades are definitely worse than others. This shade does make my teeth look super yellow, which is really unappealing. Also, the little dark spots between my teeth are not food, they are fillings, so please keep your mean comments to yourself or I will just block you. Drop the Beat is a fluoro peach. I actually really love this shade, but it is such a pain to apply. It is super streaky and it really emphasises the flaws in my lips. If I really spend time with lip prep, it can look really lovely, but I also find that the brightness is dulled down. This is the shade that I used for the longevity test, and as you can see, it doesn't wear off gracefully. Even though my lips started out looking beautiful and plump, after 6 hours, the lines and texture are still quite apparent. My lips are flaky and the lipsticks really do emphasize that. Not Your Business is a bright, warm-toned red. This is a lovely classic red and the most orange shade in the collection, which of course I am quite happy with. I find that this shade bleeds a little bit around my lip line if I use too much, and it can't dry quickly enough. But it has a sticky finish that means that doing multiple layers looks really bad. I Don't Care is a true blue toned red. This shade is gorgeous, but so hard to work with. I had to use 2 layers to cover up the streakiness, and it turned out even worse than before. I chose to keep this in the video rather than redo it perfectly because this is how it turns out quite a lot of the time. The lipstick dries down too quickly, and it stays quite sticky, which means that it drags when you try to apply another layer. Show Me What You Got is a deep brick red. This is a beautiful shade, but not one that I think suits me or that I get a lot of wear out of. What the Heaven is a orange toned brown. This is a very interesting shade, but not one that I think looks good on me. I would go as far as to say that it looks bad on me. I think that this shade would be much nicer on deeper skin tones. On the Top is a pastel peach shade. This is such a gorgeous shade from a distance and one that I would absolutely love to wear. However, up close it just looks terrible. It's streaky, it's patchy, it really shows off the lip wrinkles and flaws in my lips. I'm just so disappointed in the shade because it is so beautiful on my skin tone, but the quality just isn't there. Rider Jacket On is a gorgeous dusty rose. This is a very Kylie lip kit colour, but I actually really do like it. It's the closest to pink that this collection has, so of course this is the shade that got the most wear from me, but it's not quite as pinky pink as I would like. It doesn't really match the pink of the shirt which I'm wearing, which is a pity because that's pretty much what I wear all the time. This shade is flattering for my lip wrinkles and it's not too streaky. Let's Get It is a brown nude. This is another shade that is beautiful, but I don't get much wear out of. This is another shade that I think would look stunning on deeper skin tones. It's So Cool is a vibrant watermelon red. This shade is gorgeous and it looks really good with my skin tone. I do get a fair amount of wear out of this shade and I really like that it's not streaky or patchy. All of these lipsticks have a minty tingle when they're applied, which is supposed to provide a plumping effect, but my lips still look like shriveled prunes nonetheless. That's No Way is a beautiful coral shade. This is another really beautiful shade, but it's also very similar to the next shade. I prefer this one out of the two. It's a little bit pinker of a coral, which I think is more wearable for me. This shade doesn't have any issues with streakiness or patchiness. No Comment is the darker coral shade. Again, this is another beautiful coral, but it is so similar to That's No Way, which is for me a little bit disappointing. If you're going between the two corals, That's No Way is a pinker coral and No Comment is a more orange coral. I personally find this shade to be a little bit patchy, but it's not too obvious from a distance. Don't Push Me is a deep pumpkin orange shade. This shade almost looks red from a distance, but it's really a deep burnt orange. This is such a beautiful shade that I really should wear more often, but just don't. I personally dislike how negative the shade names are. It's not a big deal, and I think they are intending to be sassy, but the names just aren't really for me. Damas is an awful shade name, but the colour is a gorgeous berry red. This is another beautiful red shade. It's much more berry toned on my skin than in the promotional photos, but I'm happy with that because the promo photos showed it to be more like a brownish burgundy. This shade can be a little streaky, so I tried to go slow and be precise rather than have to redo it. These are very interesting lip products. There are some really great qualities about them and some that don't suit my lips very well at all. So at the moment I am wearing the shade number 1, which is Watch Me, which should look like this, which is a nice pink, but it's kind of like a peach. And I found that to be true of almost all of the pinks in the collection. There was not one pink that would match this kind of pink, like just a plain baby pink, which kind of annoys me because the colour that I most often wear is pink and it's this kind of pink, and none of the lipsticks really suit that colour. So there's nothing that I really gravitated towards instantly. and out of 18 colours, I would have thought that they'd just have like, you know, baby pink. I do really like how long lasting they are. I can wear them for about 5 to 6 hours with minimal wear to the center of my lips. That is without eating or drinking. I find that I can drink pretty well and like eat finger food, but if I ate a proper meal I probably would eat off a fair amount of the lipstick, and I would have to reapply after that anyway, so I don't think that is a negative for me. I really dislike that they make my lips look like dry, wrinkly prunes, but are also sticky at the same time. It is the most bizarre thing ever. It's almost like they don't dry down properly. When you apply them, they do have that little tingling sensation, which means that they should be plumping your lips, but honestly, they don't plump my lips at all. My lips look super dry and super wrinkly, and they just look like it's not a good look. And with the stickiness, they are just like, they're just so sticky. You would expect them to dry down and be like matte and smudge proof, but like you can touch it and it'll come off straight away onto your fingers, but it still looks like it's one of those matte dry down lipsticks, but it's not. The stickiness also makes it really difficult to apply. The more you use the wand to finesse it into your lips, the worse it gets. Because it dries so sticky, it just keeps pulling, and it's hard to get a nice crisp line because your skin is being pulled, because like the applicator is sticking to your lips, and it's just a little bit odd. I've never had that issue with a liquid lipstick before, and I've tried quite a few liquid lipsticks. I think that the stickiness is what disappointed me the most. If I have a lip that looks super dry and matte, I would expect it not to be sticky. Otherwise, what's the point in having dry looking lips? I'd just put a gloss on instead. So all in all, I'm actually a little bit disappointed in this range of lipsticks. I think if you have very plump, non-wrinkly lips to start with, you may like them. I would just be aware of that really sticky finish that they have. It's like a weird dry sticky too. It's just, it's odd. It's something you have to try, I think. But thank you guys so much for watching this review, and I will see you next time. Bye!